guys, what's up? So I wanted to just stop by today quickly to share an idea that I got while I was showering just now. There is an erroneous belief in some people, which is one actually of the cognitive distortions out of the list, that if you have suffered enough, that kind of gives you the guarantee that at some point you will reap the reward of that suffering. And you hear people a lot say things like, oh, I mean, so many bad things have even happened to me like this year or whatever, nothing bad will happen anymore. Or like now the like good stripe of the life should come because like apparently life is in stripes of like black and white. And I noticed myself doing it this year. So for me, the year 2021 was a year when in the end of May, I said like, okay, that was enough. That was a year, like, oof, nothing else can happen anymore. Like, I mean, that was enough for 3 years. And then, I mean, like now it's November and I'm scared to even say anything anymore because it has been like one mess after the other. And it was like the most intense year of my life by far. And my life is pretty intense as it is. I caught myself doing that. And I just realized that it's a belief that a lot of people hold, and sometimes we even do it unconsciously, like we don't even notice that we do that. And I think it's like very harmful and very hurtful, and this is why I wanted to like share it, because well, that means that we think that things will kind of just, it's kind of a magical thinking, so we think that things will just figure themselves out without our participation in it. Maybe like Christianity or religion in itself, of like having suffered for your sins and then you're granted like eternal blessings and whatever, which I mean, life doesn't work like that. I think of course, if you have like suffered a lot and then you have learned from it and then you actually kind of fixed the parts of yourself that were reflecting this like in the outward reality, because we get ourselves in the situations when we suffer and we create them kind of with our own hands. I mean, there are of course things that like in the physical reality are outside of our control, but there are a lot of things that we actually can just change by changing our beliefs and our behavior. And like by stopping tolerating situations that we shouldn't tolerate, and many other things. And I just feel like a lot of people kind of think that, okay, like I'm done, like I've suffered, now I deserve like all the rewards, and they expect like good things to happen to them. But what happens a lot is that even more bad things start happening, because I firmly believe that if you have like stuff happen to you and you don't learn anything from it, you will be put in positions that are more and more difficult in order for you to finally get the lesson, because usually it's the mindset or kind of an erroneous belief or an erroneous idea that gets us into the situation that is intolerable, for example, and then we have no other choice than change this belief, because then we have to understand like what brought us there and stop doing things or believing in things that brought us there and change accordingly. And this is why like if we have suffered enough, but you need to like suffer productively. Not suffering by learning, but learning things anyway is another level of consciousness. But at least if something bad is happening to you, like don't assume that it automatically like grants you good things in the future, because this is not how it works unless you actually learn from the situation. Because the only way of changing the way that our life is starting doing something different. It's really stupid to do the same things over and over again and expect a different result. And a lot of people do that. Like we just continue going down the same path, and it's the same as I talked about in the video about crisis, where we just kind of expect that going down the same path that has proved over and over again that it's not for us, that it's not the right path, that like we encounter obstacles and there are things happening that we don't like that are happening, but we are so stubborn to admit that we actually made a mistake, to turn around and like start over again in some other direction, or that we just think that if we continue doing what we are doing, eventually we will get there. And I think that the popular culture and like the mass media and so on, it reinforces it a lot. So like work hard and hustle and so on, and then you will get what you want. But sometimes it's not doing more, it's doing different. And this is my idea of today. So like if you are struggling with something and you think, okay, like I have suffered enough now, like nothing bad is going to happen to me anymore, or I have deserved good things in my life because I have endured a lot of like this. Unfortunately, I wish it was like this, but it doesn't work like that unless you actually take some lessons out of the difficult situations that you have been put into, I don't think it's gonna change ever, and most likely it's gonna either repeat or even repeat with like more intensity until you actually grasp the lesson out of there. And we only change our ways of thinking or our ways of being by being put in situations that are so intolerable that the price of staying the same becomes higher than the price of changing something. And this is really sad because I wish we would do it voluntarily sometimes, like, or at least with less collateral damage that happens usually. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I hope that this was somewhat useful, and wish you a really nice day. Love you very much. Be kind to yourself and to others. See you in some other video when something else occurs to me. So yeah, thanks. Bye.